Imagine standing alone in one of the coldest places on Earth. The temperature is nearly minus 30 degrees Celsius. The wind howls across endless, snow-covered mountains. There are no roads, no villages, no chance of immediate rescue. Now imagine being forced to leave the safety of your tent in the middle of the night, without proper clothing, without boots, and without any clear reason. 9 experienced hikers made that impossible decision. Hours later, every one of them was dead. Some were found frozen beneath the snow. Others suffered horrifying injuries that investigators struggled to explain. Their tent had been cut open from the inside. No signs of a struggle, no confirmed attacker, and no explanation that satisfied everyone. More than 60 years later, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in history. What happened on that frozen mountain? Tonight, we search for the truth. Welcome to the Mystery Vault. It was January 1959. 10 young adventurers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute in the Soviet Union prepared for a challenging winter expedition. Their leader was Igor Dyatlov, a 23-year-old engineering student and an experienced mountaineer. Every member of the group had completed difficult hiking expeditions before. They understood survival techniques, they knew how to navigate dangerous mountain terrain, and they were fully prepared for extreme winter conditions. Their destination was Mount Oter-10, one of the most remote areas of the northern Ural Mountains. The journey was classified as a Category 3 expedition, the highest level of difficulty at that time. The group packed food, medical supplies, cameras, journals, warm clothing, skis, and camping equipment. Friends and family wished them good luck. Nobody imagined this would be the last time most of them would ever be seen alive. Shortly after the journey began, one member named Yuri Yudin became seriously ill. Because of health problems, he made the difficult decision to return home. At the time, he believed he would simply meet the others after the expedition ended. Instead, that decision would save his life. He became the only member of the original group to survive. As the hikers traveled deeper into the mountains, they continued documenting their adventure. Their cameras captured smiling faces, snow-covered forests, frozen rivers, and breathtaking mountain landscapes. Their journals described the expedition as difficult but enjoyable. The team joked with one another. They laughed. They remained confident despite the harsh weather. Everything suggested the expedition was progressing exactly as planned. On February 1st, 1959, the group reached the eastern slope of a mountain known by the local Mansi people as Kholat Shakal. Its name has often been translated as Dead Mountain. The weather suddenly became worse. Strong winds reduced visibility. Heavy snowfall made navigation increasingly difficult. Instead of moving down into a sheltered forest where they could camp more safely, Igor Dyatlov decided to pitch the tent directly on the exposed mountainside. Some researchers believe this decision was made to avoid losing altitude. Others think the worsening weather forced the group to stop immediately. Whatever the reason, it became one of the most debated decisions in the entire investigation. As darkness covered the mountain, the hikers prepared for another cold night. None of them knew that it would be their last. The hikers planned to send a message once they completed their journey. Days passed. No message arrived. At first, relatives believed bad weather had simply delayed the expedition. But as more time passed, concern quickly turned into fear. On February 20th, search teams were finally organized. Volunteers, experienced mountaineers, police officers, and military personnel joined the search. Finding the group was extremely difficult. Snowstorms had buried many trails. The freezing temperatures made every hour more dangerous. After several days of searching, rescuers finally spotted the expedition's tent. At first glance, everything looked strangely normal. The tent was still standing. Snow covered most of its surface. But when investigators looked closer, they noticed something terrifying. The tent had been sliced open from the inside. The entrance remained closed. It appeared that the hikers had escaped by cutting through the fabric instead of using the door. Inside the tent, their boots remained neatly arranged. Warm jackets were still there. Food was untouched. Personal belongings had been left behind. No experienced mountaineer would willingly leave a warm shelter in the middle of a freezing night without proper clothing. Yet that is exactly what appeared to have happened. Outside, a single line of footprints led away from the tent. The footprints showed that several hikers had walked calmly down the slope, not run in panic. the trail disappeared into the darkness, where investigators would soon make discoveries far more disturbing than anyone expected. Following the footprints, rescuers reached the edge of a large cedar tree nearly 1.5 kilometers from the abandoned tent. There they made their first heartbreaking discovery. 2 members of the expedition were lying beneath the tree. Both had died from extreme hypothermia. Neither of them was wearing proper winter clothing. They were barefoot. Their hands showed signs of severe injuries, as if they had desperately tried to climb the tree. Nearby, investigators found the remains of a small campfire. It suggested the hikers had attempted to stay alive after leaving their tent. But in temperatures close to minus 30 degrees Celsius, the fire offered little protection. A short distance away, rescuers discovered 3 more bodies. Among them was expedition leader Igor Dyatlov. The positions of the bodies suggested they had been trying to return to the tent. One by one, they collapsed in the snow. Only 4 members of the expedition were still missing. The mountain had not yet revealed its darkest secret. Months later, after the snow finally began to melt, search teams made another shocking discovery. The remaining 4 hikers were found deep inside a nearby ravine beneath several feet of snow. Unlike the first 5 victims, these hikers had suffered devastating internal injuries. One had multiple fractured ribs. Another had severe chest trauma. One woman, Lyudmila Dubinina, was missing her tongue. Several victims also had broken skulls. What confused investigators most was the lack of external wounds. There were almost no cuts or injuries on the outside of their bodies. Medical experts stated that the force behind these injuries was similar to the impact of a serious car crash. Yet there were no signs of another person, no evidence of a violent fight, no footprints belonging to strangers. Even more mysterious, some pieces of clothing showed unusually high levels of radioactive contamination. The investigation had become even stranger. Instead of finding answers, every discovery created new questions. For decades, countless theories have attempted to explain the Dyatlov Pass incident. One theory suggests that a small avalanche forced the hikers to leave their tent quickly. Although this could explain why they escaped into the freezing night, many experts argue that the evidence does not fully support a large avalanche. Another theory points towards secret Soviet military testing. Some witnesses reported seeing strange glowing lights in the sky around the same time. This led to speculation that the hikers may have accidentally entered a classified military testing area. Others believe powerful wind patterns created a phenomenon known as infrasound. According to this theory, low-frequency sound waves may have caused extreme panic, forcing the group to abandon their shelter. More mysterious explanations include attacks by an unknown creature, paranormal activity, or even extraterrestrial involvement. Despite decades of investigation, none of these theories has been proven beyond doubt. In 2020, Russian authorities reopened the case using modern scientific methods. After months of research, investigators concluded that a natural avalanche was the most likely explanation. According to their report, a slab of compacted snow may have suddenly shifted during the night. Believing their tent was no longer safe, the hikers quickly escaped into the darkness. Disoriented by freezing temperatures, powerful winds, and poor visibility, they became separated. Some died from hypothermia. Others suffered fatal injuries after falling into the ravine beneath the snow. Although this explanation answered several questions, many people remained unconvinced. Critics argued that important details still could not be explained. Why was the tent only partially buried? Why were the footprints still visible? And what caused the unusual radioactive traces found on some clothing? Even today, the debate continues. More than 60 years have passed since 9 experienced hikers entered the frozen Ural Mountains. They never returned home. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of history's most fascinating unsolved mysteries. Was it simply a tragic combination of extreme weather and human survival? Or is there still an important piece of the story hidden beneath the snow? Perhaps the mountain knows the truth, and perhaps it always will. What do you believe happened on that freezing night? Share your theory in the comments below. If you enjoy true crime, dark history, and unexplained mysteries, subscribe to the Mystery Vault, because behind every mystery, there is a story.